commuters or non-commuters?
The name of our team is the non-commuters because everybody walks except for me. And really it is to enhance the experience of a dreary commute every day. So again, we were looking at doing a fairly similar route. We're looking at using, in a more technical side, we're looking at using Transport Direct's Journey Planner, using that as our source of getting from A to B and getting the different options, costs, carbon aspects, etc. And then building on top of that a database of what routes people use. So based on that, we can do a number of things. We can see, okay, the 7:53 train is full of kids. You may want to avoid that. Yeah, very similar stuff going on in the thinking. We did not talk to each other.
You didn't pay attention to what you're doing. You're cranking around.
Was that out in the ether, so you guys...
Yeah, I don't know where it came from. But I mean, the other aspect we're looking at are things like points of interest. So let's say you're at Paddington Station and the most convenient place to eat is at the Yo Sushi before getting on a train. So we can crowdsource that kind of thing, perhaps pull information out of Foursquare, Galola, etc. And that will help people discover places they may not have realized are actually there. So there's a cafe around the corner which you never pass because you walk in a different route, and that's got the best coffee. So that is something that we could provide to them. Likewise, it might be simple things like saying, well, if you take the DLR from Docklands to Bank, then you're going to see the sunset, but if you take the Central Line this way, you're not. So little bits of enjoyment to just make that commute a bit more exciting. Obviously, there's things like the money, the time, the quality of seating, all that kind of stuff that's been talked about before. Is that good? Yeah.
Quickly, what did you use?
What did we use to general chaos initially? Then we looked at all these different aspects, looked at creating a grid, looking at the problems with different types of transport. Then we focused on a bunch of core ideas, including things like gaming with other people on a train, that sort of stuff. I can't remember the other ones offhand now. But we looked at about 5 ideas, and then we voted on one, and this is what we ended up coming up with. We then researched what we could use to provide this, what existing services are there that have synergy with it. So we looked at things like Zoom Around Town, Chromorama, Submates, and TomTom's new live service. They all do things in a similar space. So we try to make sure that it hasn't been done before. And then we developed the concept of the idea, and that's kind of what's been going on here, which is what value can we add by using this crowdsourced database of routes. So the other thing I didn't mention is figure out which ones are busiest, or which one's going to be busy on a certain day, and as you could provide that as a real-time thing, as opposed to, yeah. So
Any other questions, really quickly? Anybody any questions?
Yeah, I have a question, but I just want, in order to, it's just to differentiate the proposition between the two teams.
It's not a huge ball.
Maybe it's worth thinking about a different type of persona. So I challenge you to maybe, you know him? Maybe think about children. You know, what from children's perspective, maybe there could be some gamification. You know, people with families who have children, it's very difficult to actually plan journeys and trips and commutes bearing them in mind because it's not very interesting for them. You need to keep them entertained. So maybe there's something there to think about, you know, different type of persona to differentiate, maybe think about gamification, think about what's the social...
I think the trouble is we're mostly looking at commuters, so commuters...
Yeah, commuters.
I mean, with kids, yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah, we can.
I'm just thinking, because you guys need to have a different proposition.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to have a position.
We got that first.
Okay, everybody staying alive? Sorry about the aircon. So we had to change our idea, so we lost most of our morning, unfortunately. So everybody feels sorry for us.
Why?
You.
Why?
Because we were very similar with Team 3. We were asked to change things around. So we ended up with something fairly distilled, fairly simple, and perhaps not as detailed as what the other teams have gone into here. And that was the best we could achieve with the time left. So the question is, who here has been waiting at a train station and just felt bored out of their mind and thought, I wish I was doing something better? Okay, that's that first bit of user analysis. So enter Slow Coach, which is, yeah, shockingly simple UI. You enter where you're starting from and where you're going to. And what we do, what we're saying is, well, we're always in a hurry when we're commuting, right? But there's always a bit of dead time and downtime, as we're calling it, in between certain places. And you know, when we're waiting for a bus, when the train's got delayed or something, there's always a bit of dead time. So this is very simply all about finding things to do in that period of time. And every time you use it, it will try and, assume you've logged in, it'll try and find you something different, let's say. So we go along and we say we're going from my house to my place of work. We hit go. We end up with something that looks suspiciously like Kayak. And we get a list of results down one side, which gives you the departure, the transport time, the cost, but also gives you a few things you could do along the way. And down here on the right, on the left even, you can set an arrival time. So you have one slider which says, I need to be home by 6 p.m. And that filters down the different options you have. Likewise, by default, you'll have all of these options ticked. So if you can't read that, that says drinks, food, groceries, culture, traveling with kids. And that will, by unticking that, you'll start reducing the number of options you have here. So again, very similar to how Kayak works. Likewise, different types of transport. The idea is, if you're commuting, you're already spending a large portion of your time trying to, sitting on transport. You don't want to spend hours setting up things. You don't want to, whatever. It needs to be fairly simple, fairly quick. So, do you want to do this one or that one first?
Do this one.
Okay. So here we go. So this is details. So I've said that you need to go from Liverpool Street to Oxford. It says visit Jack the Ripper Street. I'm not sure that's right. But so that's something that you may not have ever done before, and we might have brought in your Foursquare data or other check-in data and figured out what you've done, what you haven't done, what you're interested in. Let's say you like visiting cafes, so we'll put higher priority for cafes and so on. And of course, you'll also notice there's a little budget thing down here too, so how much you want to spend to get home or to do a round-trip journey, etc.
Yes. So the issue is that when you have to choose on several journeys, you have what things you can do in between your stops, you have your downtime, but it's very hard to decide to compare when is that happening and how long is that downtime as utilization. So trying to have an alternative screen which is inspired from Edward Tufte Visioning Information time tables for trains, which is train operators. So you don't have to go from point A to B like this. So you have intimate things. You are here as time. You have to leave right now, and you want to arrive somewhere this time. So you can see what are the options for you. For example, this is a direct train. No, this is not. This is the time it takes this train. So this is a fast train. This is a slow train. This is a train with several stops, and you can actually visualize, compare all your options. When you have the downtime, when actually you say no, you have to change another train. You say, I can stay over here because I have some things interesting to do around. I can skip that and just go to the next one. So it's a way to visualize where you are as location and time, what you want to get, and how much stops you can use as time for various things you like to do, like groceries, buying other stuff, or just doing some cultural events. There will be an alternative visualization for the table one.
Okay, and the only last two things to add is we're thinking about mobile alerts. So if, for example, the user's Google Latitude user, we might be able to detect that they're on a train and figure out that the train's getting late, therefore send them an alert in real time saying, hey, if you're getting late and you need to wait for a longer connection, why not go here?
Like this is going to be here and not here.
Exactly.
So I'm here, like, sorry, this is going to be longer, I can just go and see other things around.
Go see the new art installation outside of Reading Station. And obviously, if we do have logins, then we can crowdsource information and figure out various other bits and pieces in that respect. But we figured we'll start with a simple route. And I think that's it. Is that right? Yeah.
Questions? I'd like to ask for your feedback, because you said you had to start again, reinvented, which is disruption, but it's a good thing, right? Because you come up with something like it is quite unique and quite exciting. So was that something that you aimed to try and do again?
I think it was a bit stressful having the change, because I think actually our original idea was fairly different to number 3. And I think if we'd continued on that route, we would have been able to come up with something a bit more significant.
I think you still managed to convey all your ideas and your thoughts, right? So it didn't need pretty pictures. It is
Last minute rush, yeah.
it does. That's what these ideas are about. You still managed to convey it with what you had. So.
What was the difference? Can you remember what the idea was from the story?
I'm not trying to test you.
Yeah.
Because I remember there being elements of this and what you,
This was one area of the original idea.
Yeah.
So the original idea was a lot more general and had a lot more different aspects to it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just about points of interest. It also involved the comfort aspect, sort of the efficiency, the carbon, and so on.
I just wanted to highlight the lesson from this that I learned from looking at how you guys perform. You were kind of, how do we differentiate ourselves? I think you've actually turned it around. So I think I challenge other teams in the future to learn to not be put down by having a similar idea and kind of, we should just go with a similar idea and see if we can somehow differentiate it. But starting from scratch like this, I think you've got something that's really different. So.
Well, that's kind of real life as well.
I mean, you know.
It's real life. You design something, you have ideas, you think it's great, you look out in the marketplace and you see that someone's already done some of that. It looks kind of the same, but actually we have this one spark of an idea that's slightly different. Well, let's just focus on that. That's more or less what you've done and come out with something new. That's good.
Thanks, guys.